Hey there, historians. Today we are talking about life in Colonial Williamsburg. So, today, your goal, your target is I can understand how the experiences at Colonial Williamsburg help understand the birth of our nation. There's a quick little clip here that talks to you about what life was like in colonial America. Again, we're trying to build that foundation of when the first colonies were being established, what was life like? We have 3 instructional pages here. The first one starts like this. Williamsburg was the capital of the British colony of Virginia. As you visit this town, you will learn about Virginia's government. You will also learn about the culture or way of life in this colony. You will see what it was like to be a colonist going to church, school, and work. You will find out how colonists relaxed and had fun, and you will see how enslaved Africans lived and worked. During your tour, you will find out what life was like in Virginia for 2 different groups, the white colonists and the African slaves. Williamsburg has been restored and preserved much as it was in the 1700s. Tourists visit to learn about life in colonial times. So again, we have different audio files that will help you to understand more of the text and build some background information about Williamsburg. On this instructional slide, this one talks to you all about what school was like, what the trades they had, including some shoemakers, what was happening at the colleges, what was happening at the governor's palace, life for the slaves who were living in Williamsburg. And then the center of the town was usually built around the church. So how did the church play a part in colonial Williamsburg? And so each of those audio files are things that you're going to want to listen to when we get to that deeper understanding of how these experiences help you understand what life in colonial Williamsburg was like. This is a reflective page. So after you've listened to those files, those links, look carefully at this image and explain some of the perspectives that are included. What do you think the characters in this image are talking about? What politics might they be discussing? How do you think the people in the image are feeling? And what are 3 details from this picture that help to explain what is happening? And then we get into our activity slides. So there is 3 activity slides, one of which is an example. But right here, there were certain rules that every child had to follow in colonial Williamsburg. These rules might look different from the rules you are used to. Match each highlighted phrase to what you think they mean in terms you are familiar with. So it's highlighted in this box. Every action done in company ought to be with some sign of respect to those that are present. And then on the right side of your page, there are 4 ways that you might say this today on ways that you're asked to behave. Shew nothing to your friend that may affright him. In the presence of others, sing not unto yourself with a humming noise, nor drum with your fingers of feet. When in company, put not your hands to any part of the body not usually discovered. And then think about when you look at these rules and you look at the tags that you add in over here, think about how these rules would make you feel as a kid in colonial Williamsburg. And how do they make you feel as a kid today? On slide 7, we're going to write a letter about colonial Williamsburg, and you can see my sample right here. Write a letter describing what you learned about life in Williamsburg. Use your reading notes to help you. Your letter must include the following. So you need a date and a proper greeting. So I highlighted that in pink to match. an introduction, a description of at least 3 places, an explanation of how life in Colonial Williamsburg compares to life in your community, a proper closing. Your letter should be at least 3 paragraphs and at least 3 sentences per paragraph long and should be typed. Now, you will notice that if I turned this in, I do not have everything that is needed. So look carefully at mine, figure out what I did wrong so that you do it right. Because my letter here would not be completely correct. It does not include all of the expectations. Now, when we jump to slide 8, that is where you will write your own. So it's the same slide. These words are just, the size is changed, so you have more writing space. And then on slide 8, so Colonial Williamsburg has its own really cool website. And so if you clicked on this link, or this link, you can actually take a virtual tour of Colonial Williamsburg. This link right here in the upper left corner will take you to a YouTube page so you will leave this site, you will go to YouTube, and there is a huge collection of videos from Colonial Williamsburg that gives you points of view of all of the people and all of the different types of characters that you would find at Colonial Williamsburg today. This is on the Colonial Williamsburg website. It's a quiz to see what do you know about what life would have been like in the 1700s. And then this is a virtual scavenger hunt. So again, you can tour more of Colonial Williamsburg on your own. Really cool stuff, really fun for those of you who want to get really into this and deeply understand Colonial Williamsburg and how those experiences can teach you about the past. I really encourage you to check these 4 out. Jumping back, I'm just going to jump back to slide 6. I'm going to exit my view mode, my present mode, go into my edit mode. And right here, you can see these are the tags that you would bring in. So which of these tells you to be respectful? Which of these 4 rules of Colonial Williamsburg tells you to keep your hands to yourself? Which of these tells you to be kind to others? And which of these 4 rules of Colonial Williamsburg tells you to stay focused? Again, this is a sample or an example, and it has errors in it. So don't copy this thing straight off. It will not serve you well. You're going to have to identify my mistakes so you don't do the same thing. And then here is where you will write your letter about Colonial Williamsburg, because your goal is that you can understand how the experiences at Colonial Williamsburg help understand the birth of our nation. Good luck, historians.